What happened while we were away brought to you by a quinquennial tradition unlike any other. For the better part of the last at least 36 hours, Hamas has launched countless rockets at targets in Israel. Israel's Iron Dome defense system was able to intercept the majority of the rockets, but at times the sheer number of rockets launched found their targets, causing destruction in areas of Israel, including Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Israeli forces retaliated against Hamas, dropping bombs and destroying a 13-story building in the process. It's the most extensive conflict between Hamas and Israel since 2014. Reuters reports at least 32 people have died amidst the violence. In the United States, pro-Hamas marches took place yesterday in major cities, including D.C., New York, and Minneapolis. The White House has responded by treating Hamas and Israel as equals.
Since last week, he has directed his team to engage intensively with senior Israeli and Palestinian officials, as well as leaders throughout the Middle East.
Moving on, and in other news, Senator Rand Paul grilled Dr. Anthony Fauci yesterday on his organization's funding of gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
The NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of
Dr.
Virology.
Barrett?
SARS-CoV-1 originated in bats in China. It would have been irresponsible of us if we did not investigate the bat viruses. I don't favor gain-of-function research in China. You are saying things that are not correct. The NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. But again, we have not funded gain-of-function research on this virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, no matter how many times you say it,
there was research.
The New York Times slammed the CDC yesterday for vastly overstating the risk of outdoor transmission of COVID-19. The story documents how the CDC has stated the risk of outdoor transmission is as high as 10%. The story goes on to cite data indicating the risk is below 0.1%.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
A new Morning Consult poll finds Americans who have been vaccinated are less comfortable in public than those who have not taken the vaccine. Not making this up, across the board, vaccinated Americans are less likely to go on a cruise, visit an amusement park, attend a sporting event, or just generally socialize in public. Meanwhile, in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis is starting to push for schools to unmask kids.
These kids do not need to be wearing these masks, okay? I'm sorry, they don't. We need to be able to let them be kids and let them act normally, and that's what should be the case in the fall throughout the school year.
Daily Defiance, Wes and his wife went to the Grand Canyon, that's federal property, where you're supposed to wear a mask even outside, and of course, didn't wear their masks. In Ohio, Emily and her family attended a demolition derby. She says there were hundreds of people there and most were not wearing masks, including her and her family. And in Pennsylvania, Albert says he was hanging out at a local big box store, without his mask, of course, when he saw this dude. Update on the Colonial Pipeline ransomware cyber attack. New York Times tweets, since the shutdown, there have been no long lines or major price hikes for gas. Meanwhile, gas shortages and long lines abound in America's southeastern region, including Atlanta, where nearly 60% of gas stations in the metro area are without gasoline as of midnight last night, and 72% in Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's an example of the questions Energy Secretary Granholm is taking from the press.
But looking more holistically in a macro view, how does this speed up the efforts at DOE to move in more of a renewable direction, since this is going to have an impact on people at the pump?
You know, if you drive an electric car, this would not be affecting you.
U.S. inflation continues to soar as American consumers are witnessing the biggest rise in prices for goods in a decade. This while millions of Americans continue to enjoy unemployment benefits off of the coronavirus response. Stacey Abrams, your thoughts?
It is insufficient for us to simply focus on the more traditional masculine areas of the economy.
Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert tweets, the country is being run about as effectively as you could expect from a party that kicked off this legislative session by saying amen and a woman. And finally, the voice of reason we all need.
Keep your kids out of our
gay clubs. Obviously, when we're seeing 12-year-olds dressed as girls and women stripping for gay men, throwing them dollar bills on a stage, it's just, I don't know why we have to, me as a homosexual has to tell people, keep your kids out of my life. You know, keep your kids innocent and pure.
What do you feel about the whole story hour, drag queen story hour?
Oh, I think it's stupid. I think it's damaging. I think it will actually lead to more confusion of gay children.
And that's what happened while we were away.